Alright, Section 1 car equipment, car electrical equipment, Chapter 2, Part 2, Page 1. Part 2, axle generator mounting and suspension. Axle generator suspension for the truck on which the axle is mounted with the base underneath the center of the car with the generator shall pulley and preferably at the right of the generators mounted with the pulley. At the right of the generator when facing the truck with the axle pulley mounted is found known on the right hand suspended with the pulleys left in the generator with the generators known on the left hand suspended. Two pulley centers. In the distance between the center of the car, the axle of the generator pulleys, and the body suspended generators shall not be less than 5 feet 3 inches, or no more than 7 feet. The clearances, the axle generator suspension shall be designed with the car normally loaded on a level tangent track. The clearance shall be as great as possible, not less than specified below. A for the body suspension generators not less than 7 inches from any of the part of the generation suspension from the top rail. For truck suspended generators not less than 3.5 inches from any of the part of the generator suspension to the car body parts attached thereto, and not less than 3.5 inches of the rail clearance with the truck spring solid. When all parts of the car's axle and equipment car and axle generator equipment affecting the clearance in the same condition as was when new, with the minimum belt tension, the drive load with the generator and surface portion with respect to the car body, the belt clearance and that shall be. Alright, your truck suspended over under sill is 1 inch, and the over brake beam is 2.5 inches, and under brake beam is 2 inches. Your body suspended over under sill is 2 inches, but over the brake beam is 3 inches, and under the brake beam is 2 inches. Steam and water drift. Steam, water, and other drifts shall be so located that they matter. These sources will not deposit on the generator or drive. All right. Part 3 of Section 1, car electrical equipment. Axle generators. Part 3, specification of motor alternator equipment. The specification over the motor alternator equipment and for the installation of the passenger equipment that shall be cars for the equipment alternating current equipment shall be included air conditioning main blower motors condensers fan motors electromechanical drinking water coolers electrical manual refrigerators electrical outlets fluorescent lighting incandescent lighting in the entertainment systems etc. Motor alternators require specific limitations of frequency and voltage characteristics not considered within the scope of these specifications. These specifications are accompanied by data sheets stating specific requirements as shown in the following. The equipment is intended for the service of the cars having direct current of the system. Stated maximum load shall be suitable in every way in such services. Submission of bid must also be understood to imply with the bidder fully with an understanding that except will furnish the apparatus which will conform to the requirements of these specifications. 4. The equipment shall be capable of adaptation for the car using either lead acid, nickel alkali battery. The apparatus furnished with consisting of the following with any items shall not desired shall be crossed out and additional items may be added. A. Motor alternator. 1. The body mounted with resilient mounts. 2. The safety strap to the furnished purchaser when used. B. Leads when used. C. Control. 1. Starting panel when used. 2. Voltage regulator when used. And 3. Frequency regulator when used. 6. Bidders data. The bidder shall submit with this bid in the triplicate at least the following list of apparatus off with the description motor alternator include the class of the installation designation of the as ventilated total enclosure bearings and lubrication etc. Description of the capacity of the characteristics of all apparatus include a detailed description of the control motor alternator output voltage frequency efficiency range input and voltage range outputs with the curve and the diagrams necessary to complete the explanation. Outline drawings of all apparatus essential dimension weight motor alternate pulleys. Motor alternator. The capacity of the motor alternator shall be capable of delivering the rated capacity, the rated kilowatt output is a rated output voltage, a rated frequency of 80% of the factor as rated to the speed of the normal input currents over the voltage specified without injuries to the heating. The manufacturer the machine shall be capable of withstanding 25% over the speed without mechanical injury. 2. The general construction, all material workmanship method of the construction shall be in first class. All parts of the subject interchange shall be so made that ensure accuracy, uniformity, and interchangeability. All solder used in soft pointing that is not less than 385 degrees. Machine shall be designed in all weather operation, which detached season covers. 3. The field calls installation shall cause the AIEE class class A minimum. The end of each of the coils shall be permanently marked with the designated respective ends of the coil. 4. The armature elimination should be kept with the shaft of the quill or so applied and blocks. They will not loosen under the name of the normal conditions of the service. Installation shall be AIEE class A minimum. Installation between the commutator bars of the motor shall be undercut. D. The communicator shall be thoroughly seasoned. E. The armature shall materially shall be at least equal to the latest issue of the Association of American Railroad M122, M127 material having higher physical qualities when required to design. 5. The armature should dynamically be balanced with 2/10 of an inch ounce as rated speed. Bearings. The bearings should be seated with the anti-friction type. The air gap at the place of the pole face armature shall be designed to reduce the noise minimum. Motor alternator leads. When used, the motor alternator armature field leads shall be specified and shall be stranded with the wire not longer than number 24 AWG gauge in accordance with the Association of American Railroad specification number 581. The badge plate shall be securely attached to each of the motor alternators, showing the following: the manufacturer's name, type, their serial and catalog numbers, range of voltage of the meter, range of voltage of the motor, rated voltage of the alternator, rated output of the kilowatts or kilovolt amperes, rated current motor at rated load, and speed, RPM, frequency, power factor, rating and rotation, and wind and temperature rise. The critical the serial and catalog numbers are also stamped into the frame under the badge plate. Metal stencil not less than 1/4 of an inch in height. The capacity of the test: the motor alternator should be connected with the suitability load equal with the rated capacity and operated with the rated load. The voltage speed until all temperatures have been stabilized, unless otherwise specified. With the capacity test shall be made with the motor alternator on each of the order only. All tests should be made at a plant of the manufacturer. High-speed test immediately after above the test of the motor alternator. Operating temperature of the motor alternator should be operated with continuously for 5 minutes without load at speeds of 25% greater than the rated speed. 11. Air temperature. The test may be made with an ambient air temperature, preferably not below 15 degrees Celsius. Insulation test. Immediately after the above the test, parts of the equipment shall be withstand without breaking alternate current potential of 1,000 volts plus twice the rated voltage applying between the conductor's ground for the period of 1 minute. All metallic parts except for the conductors being grounded. 13. The mounting. The mounting is to provide with the resilient mounting bushes, specifically where the bolts are to be supplied with the equipment by the purchaser. Alright, control line, control panels, line switch. The line switch with a circuit protection may be used. The motor alternators with a 1 kilowatt will also have regulating feature contained with the machine. When the remote control specified with on large capacity machines, starting panels are to be used. Starting panel. The starting panel consists of a line contactor with the interlocks where they're required. Starting resistors contacted with the interlocks are where required. Starting resistors, rectifier control resistors where required, and circuit protection. B. The starting panel should not be more than 16 inches wide and shall be either the non-conducting, non-combustible material of 3/4 of an inch or more thickness of metal 1/8 of an inch thickness. The panel shall have 4 3/32 of an inch holes for supporting the whole bolts and located with a 14-inch center from the center horizontally. If the corner brackets are used, they should be attached with a panel with 3/8 of an inch cap screw having 16 threads per inch tapped into the brackets. There should be included with the panel terminals for attachment of the wires and panel terminals. Each terminal shall be stamped identification. The apparatus normally subject to replacement shall be mounted with a panel that it can be removed and reapplied without the removing of the panel for the support. G. The connections between the piece and the apparatus on the panel shall be used with the farthest as possible on the back of the panel soldered. The fuse of the fuse clamps, if used, will be arranged with the front application cartridge with the non-identification complete and closed. Open link fuse shall have the side opening slot in one side and on the end of the opening slot in the other. It shall be suitable for mounting of the fuse holders in Figure 3 shown on page 2 at 1.8. Fuse holders are to be furnished. I. Starting the panel shall be such that connected with the motor alternator with the furnished with the satisfactory performing the following functions. 1. Close the adequate voltage available open the input circuit on the motor alternator governed with the operating of the remote switch from relays. 2. Open the input circuit and to the motor alternator when the input voltage has been dropped below the specified value. 3. Provided with the motor protection. 4. Provide a suitable step of the starting resistance. J. The installation test record is corresponding with the paragraph 12 insulating test under the motor alternator applies. K. The nameplate shows the manufacturer name type and the serial catalog. 3. Voltage regulator. The voltage regulator panel should not be more than 16 inches wide and shall be either non-conducting, non-combustible material of 3/4 inch thick or or metal 1/8 of an inch thick. The panel shall have 4 3/32 of an inch bolts. 4 13/32 of an inch bolts supporting the bolts symmetrically located 14 inches in the center of the horizon horizontally. If the corner of the brackets are used, shall be attached with the panel with 3/8 of an inch cap screws having 16 threads per inch tapped into the bracket. C. There should be included the panel terminals and attachment of the wires of the panel terminals. Each of the terminals should be stamped in identification. The apparatus normally subject to the placement shall be as mounted on the panel that it can be removed and reapplied without removing the panel from its supports. After the connection between the piece of an apparatus on the panel should be so far as possible on the back of the panel and just soldered. G. The voltage regulator panel should be such that when connected to the motor alternator for the which the furnace it would satisfactorily perform the following functions. Type 1. When it is to be used with a separate frequency regulator, will maintain output voltage with the rated limits. 2. Type 2 incorporates frequency control on the voltage regulator regulator panel, which maintains output and voltage frequencies within the rated limits. 8. Installation test corresponding with paragraph 12 of the installation test under the motor alternator applies nameplate and all else manufacturer's name type and the serial catalog numbers. 4. Frequency regulator. The frequency regulator panel shall be not more than 16 inches wide and shall be either the non-conducting, non-combustible material of 3/4 inch or more than one metal of 1/8 of an inch thick. The panel shall have 4 3/32 of an inch holes with the supporting the bolts symmetrically located 14 inches from the center of the horizon horizontally with the corner of the brackets they should be attached to the panel with 3/8 of an inch cap screws having 16 inches 16 threads per inch and tapped into the brackets. There should be included with the panel terminals and attachment with the wires and panel terminals. Each terminal should be stamped in identification of the apparatus. Normally subject the replacement shall be mounted on the panel that can be removed and reapplied without removal of the panel and the supports. After the connections between the piece of the apparatus on the panel should be so far as possible to the back of the panel of the solder. G. The frequency of the regulator panel should be so that when connected with the motor alternator is furnished with a satisfactory perform the following functions. 1. Will maintain the rated output frequency within the rated limits. H. Installation takes the corresponding with the paragraph 12 installation test of the motor alternator and applies. I. The name of the plates will show the manufacturer's name type and serial catalog numbers. Data sheet. A data sheet containing the following items shall be accompanying these specifications: the nominal rating of the motor alternator in kilowatts, rated voltage of the motor in volts, rated voltage of the alternator, volts, phase, frequency, speed, rated kilowatts, speed, RPMs, rated kilowatts, amperes, the kilovolts per second, power factory, type of the battery, lead, alkaloid battery, number of the cells, dynamic balance, and length of the leads. Inspections, shipment, and guarantees, etc. 1. The inspection. All status of the manufacturer purchase inspector shall be free of access to work in the progress of the manufacturer plant. Elsewhere, the manufacturer shall furnish him with every facility and all necessary association with assuring himself that the requirements of the specifications are met. No apparatus of the parts will be accepted which does not, in the inspector judgment, conform with the specification of the best practices in the construction. 2. The shipment manufacturer giveth the purchase of the 5 days notice by the time of the apparatus material ready and inspection. The take shall not be shipped in any of the units accepted by the purchaser and inspector unless otherwise instructed by the purchaser. 3. A guarantee. The manufacturer shall guarantee the equipment against the defective material design construction for a period of 1 year and shall have furnished the free charge at the points of the design by the purchaser parts of the replacement at any part which will become defective within 1 year from the date of delivery. Manufacturer shall guarantee the equipment to meet the requirements of the specification shall be within first year of the service and make such that the repairs, renewals, and be necessary to bring the performance within the requirements of the specification due to allowance being made for the effects of normal service. 4. Patents. Manufacturers shall insure the purchaser against any of every loss, losing, or arising claim apparatus is furnished by the infringing the patents not owned, controlled, by the manufacturer shall furnish with the purchasers when required with the satisfactory bond to cover the such contingency. Maintenance and data of the successor provider shall furnish with the purchaser with equipment data, the parts listing, wire diagrams, and winding diagrams that were required to maintain the repair equipment delivered. Part 4. Specification razor vibrator inverter.